Welcome to the second episode in a Legendarium series about King Athelstan. In Part 2, Supreme Lord of Britannia, we will talk about how King Athelstan subjugated his rivals within Britain and then strengthened his kingdom. To show his domination of the new English kingdom, Athelstan added the Greek word Basilius to his title and called himself Emperor of the English. Yet he spent most of his reign struggling against rivals and rebels. At first, Athelstan sought peace with the north, and he married his sister Edith to Sihtric, the Viking king of York. Yet in the year 927 AD, the chroniclers recorded the aurora borealis, fiery lights in the northern sky, and many took them as an omen of war. Indeed, King Sihtric died the following year, and Athelstan mustered his thanes, who fought with the hammered blades inlaid with gold and silver, favored by their pagan ancestors. Together, they seized Northumbria, ransacked the Danish quarter, and drove York's ruling family to Viking-ruled Dublin. Next, King Athelstan took the great fortress of Bamberg and forced the Celtic dynasty which ruled Scotland and Strathclyde to recognize him as the Supreme Lord of Britannia. Athelstan further commanded these kings to suppress idolatry in their lands. Paganism remained strong in Britannia, especially in the north of England. Southern writers wrote of rune engravers and heathen priests who worshipped monster gods of yore in places where the stones moved and the trees talked in the wild and unruly north. King Athelstan further succeeded in expelling the Cornish from Exeter and established a border with Cornwall at the river Tamar in the southwest of the island. His kingdom thereby became about the size of modern-day England. In a sign of his power and status, the princes of Wales paid homage to him at Bamberg. They included Hywel, the King of Cornwall, King Constantine II of Scotland, and Owen of Gwent. To show their submission, they paid tributes of gold, silver, cattle, and hunting dogs to King Athelstan. And while Athelstan did conquer Cornwall, he had no wish to attempt the same in Wales, which was mountainous and unruly. Instead, he made the River Wye his frontier and used forts to control tradeways and prevent Welsh raids. Having made himself the overlord of Britannia, Athelstan proudly put the title on his coins. Ironically, while he subjugated the old Celtic kingdom in Cornwall, he was personally entranced by ancient Celtic Christianity, centuries older than the English faith. Indeed, English Christianity still had a strong pagan presence, with priests sometimes taking more than one wife and performing magic to impress the peasants. To strengthen Christianity, Athelstan went on pilgrimage and made donations to Stoke St. Nectan in Cornwall, home to one of the first great British Christians. And to fortify his power in the north, and to revive that region's flagging commitment to Christianity, he made another pilgrimage to the tomb of the north's patron, Saint Cuthbert. Tales of the saint abounded in the north, of how he trained seals to sing hymns, received food during his solitude from eagles sent by God, and extinguished both fires and plagues with his prayers. King Athelstan went to the saint's 7th century oaken tomb, and with help from the monks, he wrapped the holy body in East Roman silks and combed his hair, said to be still intact, with an ivory comb. After praying alone to the saint for a vision, he took one of the saint's fingers as a relic and placed it in the royal reliquary bag he wore around his neck. This won him much support in the semi-pagan north. Yet he also took an interest in legal reform. In a royal edict, Athelstan wrote, The king feels it too cruel that so many people as young as 12 years are executed, as he sees everywhere. It seems to him that no one under 15 should be killed. Athelstan's laws combined Germanic codes with Christianity. A man accused of a crime endured a Germanic ordeal with the blessing of the English Church. Within the local parish church, the accused picked up a red-hot iron in his right hand and carried it 3 paces before dropping it. Local men dressed his wounds, and the bandages would be reopened in 3 days. If a priest judged the wounds to be healing, he reprieved the accused. If not, he endured punishment. And since such wounds could take a month to heal, it behooved one to be in the good graces of the local church. Though this ordeal might seem barbaric to us, the utter confidence that the English placed in this ancient practice and sanctified by the church ensured peace, if not always justice. Nonetheless, Athelstan also passed charitable laws. He ordered that all royal manors be subject to an annual tax used to relieve the impoverished and destitute. Yet Athelstan used far more than taxes when consolidating his new English kingdom. He had 5 sisters, which went a long way in helping him to secure England's position abroad. Of course, he married one sister, Edith, to Sithric Caish, or Sithric the Squinty of York. Later, Edith married Otto I, Holy Roman Emperor. Another sister named Edgifu became Queen of France through her marriage to Charles the Simple. A 4th sister became the wife of Egil Skallagrimsson of Iceland, himself the subject of a saga. And finally, Athelstan married a 5th sister to Count Alan of Brittany, a realm founded by Romanized Britons who fled the invasion of the British Isles 4 centuries past. These extraordinary marriages show the depth of England's connections to the wider world and its standing among European powers. Not for nothing did the annals of Ulster proclaim Athelstan a pillar of dignity in the Western world. That wraps things up for this episode of the Legendarium. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press like. If you want to see more, press subscribe. And if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments section. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.